Morning, one and all. Today I am going to discuss about the various types of audit which we have in the subject called as principles of audit. So there can be various types of audit which can be conducted by the companies. These are, it can be on the basis of organization. These are basically the classifications on the basis of which an audit can be classified. So it can be on the basis of the organization, which is as a statutory audit or voluntary audit. On the basis of functions. Functions, it can be internal audit, it can be an external audit. On the basis of approach, it can be based on time, based on scope, and based on objective. Based on these basic classifications, three base classifications, further classifications of audits are there. For example, on the basis of organization, statutory audit and voluntary audit, which can further be classified as into government and non-government audit. As non-government audit, it can be classified as audit for companies, audit of trust organizations, audit of organizations covered. Whereas on the basis of functions, as it is classified as internal and external audit. Internal, which will be done by the internal staff members, who will be the audit staff members of the company or the organization. External audit, it can be done by the external audit appointed auditor appointed by the shareholders or the board of directors or by the central government as the case permits. Then on the basis of approaches, it can be on the basis based on time, based on scope, based on objective. If it's based on time, the audit can be continuous audit, can be interim audit, can be periodical audit. If it is based on the scope, it can be a complete audit, it can be a partial audit, right? And when we say on the basis of objectives, it can be either a balance sheet audit, either an occasional audit, or a standard audit. When we say statutory audit, it can be a government audit or a non-government audit. A non-government audit can further be classified as audit of companies, audit of trust organizations, audit of organizations covered under special statute. Under voluntary audit, it can be sole traders audit, Hindu undivided family audit, or a partnership audit. So by this chart, you can easily analyze what can be different types of audits which an organization is supposed to do. Coming on to next, when it's based on organization. So based on the organizational structure, the audit can be statutory audit, which is considered as a legal or a mandatory audit, government audit, or a non-statutory private audit. When we say it's a non-statutory private audit, it is sole proprietorship, partnership, or an individual and non-profit organizations whose audit can be there, which can come under on the basis of organizational structure. These can be the different types of audit happening in the organizations. Coming on to next classification. Why the audit is needed? Actually, the audit is needed for what? It's an evaluation for finances, for improving the quality of the organization, for improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization, assessing the outcomes of the organization. The audit is done. Coming on to this audit. Now, statements. Audit, what is called as, is based on certain statements. What is that? The statement on standard audit practices, which is called as SAP. One by ICAI, which is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So, auditing is an independent examination of financial informations of any entity, whether profit-oriented or not, and irrespective of its size, legal form, when such examination is conducted with a view of expressing an opinion thereon. So that is an what we say a definition of auditing in terms of standard auditing practices, which is provided by ICAI. Coming on to basis of organization. On the basis of organization also, audit can be, we say statutory audit. What is that statutory audit? Statutory audit is audit enforced by law, which is what? Is companies governed by Companies Act 2013, banking regulation ruled by Banking Regulation Act 1949, Electricity Supply Corporation ruled by Electricity Supply Act 1948, Cooperative Societies certified beneath the Cooperative Society Act 1912, civic or humanitarian trust enrolled beneath distinct religious and endowment acts, specified entities beneath distinct section of the Income Tax Act 1961, certified clubs, associations, etc. enrolled beneath Societies Registration Act 1960, right? Then next can be audit under voluntary cases, which says proprietorship concern, proprietorship organization, Hindu undivided family, federation of individuals, non-profit organization. For these kind of organizations also, it is mandatory to have the audits. Coming on to basis of function, it can be external and internal audit. So which can be under the class being characterized for the practical action of the auditors. Altogether, the class of audit is based on the auditor's work involved in audit, which says internal or external. Then on the basis of the practical approach, it can be continuous audit, it can be interim audit, it can be partial audit, it can be periodical audit, complete audit, balance sheet audit, standard audit. It can be any these types of if it is on the basis of the practical approach which the company is supposed to follow. Coming on the basis of the dimensions. Now, on the basis of the various audit dimensions, that means the various types of works being performed by the organizations. It can be management audit, cost audit, tax audit, human resource audit, system audit, proprietary audit, efficiency audit, environment audit, social audit, cash transaction audit, government audit, secretarial audit, energy audit. What are these? These are the types of works. For example, what are the various cost accounts being verified, examined, being maintained by the organization when it is being verified and examined by the auditor? It's called cost audit. When the tax related matters are being checked, it's tax audit. Then statutory audit, that is under the statute by the law, it is mandatory to have it. Then we have what government audit. Now government audit says what control measures for public accounting for government funds, right? So where the government audits are required, it covers the audit of all the expenditures, receipts done by the executives and audit of commercial accounts maintained by the public enterprises. Then we say in government companies, we already have informed in the previous lectures that audit is done by the auditor who is appointed by the Auditor General of India, CAG, right, in the government companies. Then non-statutory audit, which is not voluntary, which is not mandatory by the organization, but to check the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization can be done, which can be the financial audits in the sole trader and the partnership firm. Then coming on to the private audit. Private audit is carried out by the various proprietary firms, by the partnership firms, by the individuals as well. Then based on the scope, there can be three different types of audit, which is complete audit, partial audit, and detailed audit. So these are the various types. And based on the time, we have continuous audit, financial or final audit, interim audit, balance sheet audit. So you would have accustomed in the various organizations that these types of audits have been done by the various organizations, either continuous basis or final basis, or interim or balance sheet basis. Based on the objective, it can be independent financial audit, it can be cost audit, management audit, or the internal audit, or the social audit. These all audits are being performed by all the organizations in terms of if it's a management audit, checking the operational efficiency. If it's a social audit, checking the social responsibility of the company towards the society or the organization. Coming on to other types, there are various different other types also, which is called as special audit, depending on the occasion and the situation. Occasional audit, secretarial audit, audit in depth, cash audit, operational audit. Operational audit is also called as management audit, so it can be considered as same. Tax audit, all the tax related matters are being checked and verified, that is tax audit. Environmental audit and proprietary audit. Then coming on, what can be the various advantages? What can be various advantages of audit? Why are these different types of auditings are needed? It is needed from the legal point of view, from the internal control point of view, from the external affairs point of view. When we say legal point of view, it is income tax returns filing. It is financial money from the outside sources. It's a settlement of the insurance claims. It's the payment of sales. It's the actions against the bankruptcy. Then coming on from internal control point of view, why it is advantageous? For fast revelation of the errors and frauds. We can reveal the errors and frauds at the earlier stages. Then board will check on all the personals, whether all the personals or the employees are doing the right job, the right responsibility or not. Varied advices can be given to the management. Then uniformity in accounts can be maintained when the audits are being done from a point of view from the objective of internal control. Then from the external affairs point of view, settlement of the accounts, valuation of the assets, and the goodwill, right? So which is is as well as the future trends of the business, which can be easily found it out, right? So with the external affairs point of view, settlement of the accounts, valuation of the assets, goodwill, future trends of the business, these all can be the various objectives on the basis of which audit is released one day. So here we came to know about the different classifications. Basically, the types of audit is the type of work which we are doing in the organizations. When we are doing the thing in the organization, any kind of work, when that work is being documented, is being verified, is being examined with the various evidential proofs, that becomes an audit. So it can be a cash audit, it can be a tax audit, it can be checking out the operational efficiency of the organization, so it can become a management audit. So it depends. If, for example, if it's we have to find out or check the efficiency of the projects which we are working on, so we just to check that we can do a project audit, because for that project we want to check what is the operational efficiency, what is the effectiveness, what is the benefit we are getting from that particular project, what is the cost involved in that project. So it becomes a project audit. So the type of examination, the type of work which we do, when that is being examined with the help of various evidential proofs, physical evidential proofs, authorizations, responsibilities, it becomes that kind of audit. So that's what these are the various different advantages of the different types of audits which we have discussed in this particular slide. Thank you very much.